Hello, everyone. Um, oh, I forgot. I'm not going to talk about human sacrifice because I kind of want to get notes down and all that before I will even talk about it. So, the video that I will be covering is going to be something that was on a site called Real Pagan that really made me stop and stare at that and why it's important that we really um, analyze um, what people are saying and compare that to what other people say. So, one of the biggest complaints that people have about people that are into paganism is the one book people. The people that read one book and say, okay, that's what it's about. One of the great things is I've never been accused of this. And I am very, very fortunate that I have never been accused of this. This is why on my Kindle I've got like 6 different books on Celtic, on practices and things like that. And it is important to be careful you don't fall into that. And I'll explain what happened. So, I was on a site called Real Pagan, as I mentioned before, and I had joined a group called Druidry. And the guy on there had said that, because I had made a comment about the gods, forgot what I had said, but I do remember what he said. He said that the Druids, the Celts in general, but most of the Druids did not worship anything. The Druids did not worship gods and goddesses. They did not worship spirits of nature. They did not worship spirits in streams and wells. In essence, the Druids were atheists. And that you need to read the book by John Michael Greer called The Druidry Handbook, and he will explain to you that the Druids were basically atheists. Alright. I got kicked off the group for some reason. I don't know what I got kicked off. I don't did get kicked off the group. I got kicked off the site. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because I kept on reinforcing the idea that the Druids were the ones who could talk to the gods. I don't know, but I have no desire to go back onto that site. I did try to ask them why I had gotten booted off, but the monitor never came back on and never told me. Basically, I still don't know even today why I was removed. So anyways, so I want to make this very abundantly clear to people who might believe this. The Druids were the priests and priestesses. They were the people that they were the judges. They were the negotiators of the tribe, and most importantly, they were the ones who gave sacrifices to the gods, to the spirits, to everything. And his assertion that the Druids were basically atheists flies in the face of the Romans. The Romans adopted several deities into their own pantheon. One of them was the goddess Rihanna. Rihanna was connected with horses, and the Romans valued horses. And so it was very easy for them to to adopt her into their pantheon because of her connection with horses. When you encounter someone who has read only one book and assumes that they are now officially the authority on a certain group or a certain subject, you really have to look at them and say, why are you only quoting one book? Is that the only book that you have read? And even within the neo-pagan New Age movement, there is a lot of people that use the word fluffy bunny, one book wonders, things like that. And if I want to be really mean about it, he was a fluffy bunny druid. He did not quote other books, and it was annoying to have him say, oh, well, you need to read this book. This book will tell you everything you know. When at the time that I had joined, I must have read 3 or 4 books on the Druids. And so every one of them said the same thing, that the Druids did, were basically the Celts' connection with the gods. And even if you go and look at, there's a documentary with Boudica, when the Druids were basically cut down in Anglesey. The actors that were portraying these people said that we lost our connection to the gods. So there is this definite universal agreement that the Celts did worship multiple gods and goddesses. It also flies into everything the church tried to do later on. They would rededicate wells to saints. They did all sorts of things to remove people's devotion to the old ways. If the Celts did not worship any gods, then the church would have not had anything to do. So it's really annoying if you're new to Druidry to have someone say to you, oh, well, the Celts did not worship any gods or goddesses, and you're like, well, what about Bridget? And when you go and bring these gods up, these people who claim to be authorities in Celtic paganism, they will shoot back and say, oh, no, the Druids didn't worship them. And so far, I've only encountered that one man who has said that. But it does get annoying, and if I hadn't read any books about the Druids, I probably would have believed him. But yeah, but you have to read more than one book. And it's it does get annoying. It does, to be on, anything. So, I'm going to end here. I hope that you have found the video informative. But yeah, I mean, my big advice is to read more than one book. Read scholarly books, read New Age books, whatever. And, get the whole lowdown and everything. All right, so I'll see you around. Bye.